Smith with the Chamber and the League and the other sponsors for this opportunity to visit with you, to answer any questions you have. I don't know that I have anything too profound to say, just hopefully, I guess the one thing that I would say is we started a new committee that I'm kind of heading up. It's looking at public transportation. That Stevie's back here, and we're very fortunate in our community to have LCAT. I don't know if any of you have used that, but it's mainly functions in the city but does go out into the county, so it provides a very needed service for folks that are needing to get to appointments or go to work, do shopping. But there has been a need for many years to have more dedicated transportation than what can be provided through their LCAT, because they are state funded, and so they have to make sure that their routes are open to the public. They can't have any specific groups using it and not offer it to the community, or it's on a very limited basis. So we have Jim Kessler from the City Commission, Casey Woods, Doug and Ken Barrows from LCAT, and Susan Rathke from the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and myself. For the last few weeks, I've been exploring the possibility of a dedicated transportation service for the area that would help with special events, hopefully help make the connection between the lodging and the businesses here in the area. And so we're kind of exploring what other communities are doing, how they fund the transportation, if it's feasible in this community. And so there should be some surveys coming out, both to businesses and individuals. If you do happen to get that survey, I hope you will respond, because we're trying to get input on how much people know about dedicated transportation, whether or not it would be used, and what kind of events they would use it for. We've been told that there are a lot of reunions, wedding receptions, just tours in general that could benefit from something like this. And it's just one more step to help make our community and our county a more viable place for people to want to visit and spend money. So thank you again for coming. We're always available through email, phone, or in person to answer any questions, and I hope you'll take the opportunity to visit with us if we have any particular issues.
Did you throw that by phone deal just
That was just an example.
Yeah, or by phone, or you can call right now. I'm the one that didn't shut it off, sorry. Again, I'd like to thank you all for coming, and I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters and the Chamber for putting this on. It's always nice to see everybody. I run into a lot of you as I look through the crowd here and there. Sorry about running into you. It happens once in a while. But we have a board that works good together. I think we have different perceptions of what we'd like to see in the county. But we all work together well. And not only the commissioners, but kind of through the whole courthouse that we see this. We rely on each other, whether it's Road and Bridge or the Sheriff's Department, working together, providing different services so we can save the taxpayers money. I'm very impressed with your new sheriff. Jeff Cope has done a lot for the local schools, for the seatbelts. He's really involved in that, and I really appreciate that. Usually, if you see the law enforcement out there with the schools working with the kids, they're not fearful of it when they get there. I mean, they've got a connection, so they realize they're a service they can use. And he's not here today, but I'd like to thank him for doing that. One thing I think that we're starting to do more and more of is working with different organizations throughout the county, networking with like Emporia State University. We try to use some of their expertise. We also use a little bit of some of their services. Russell Torrance from the Noxious Weed Department has also run their hazardous waste out there. And for the light bulbs that we have to get rid of now, the new mercury type light bulbs, he has worked a deal with Emporia State University where it used to cost, I want to say, $3 a bulb to get rid of. Now Emporia State is taking those bulbs from us, and we just buy the filters for their machine now. So it's not huge savings, but you start looking at stuff like this, and it's just ways to network. And I'm really happy about that. The biggest concern I have coming up, and I've said in the past, is the budget. I really am fearful this in state government. As I pointed out before, I don't think, as far as the county essential services that we're supposed to provide, we get very little funding from the state and the federal government anyway, so I think that's going to change a lot for us. But what we do have, again, pointing Bill out, is the fact that a lot of the services that we give appropriations to are just being killed out there. Now we have to decide, do we want these services? Are they needed? Well, we both know they are. I mean, both these, not all of that, but the health department, you can just go on and on. SOS, Corner House, all these people are really under the gun right now. And to me, it goes to a little bit of the quality of life. You have to have this pay me now, pay me later. So I think budget time is really going to be tough on trying to find the funding to keep this this area, the way we want it. So turn it over to Mr. Martin.
Well, probably what I've been working on lately is probably the most visible thing that we've had going for the county, and that's the fairgrounds. With the addition of the Boyer Community Building, the county's part of the fairgrounds is to put together the parking, the infrastructure, the lighting, the curbing, the guttering. We released a budget here this last week, which would state that, now this is a budget that would be about $640,000. It has a 10% contingency built in. So, and we're currently right now looking at, using that out of multi-year capital outlay. However, we know down the road that we're going to need that money back in order to fund sheriff's cars, road graders, and different commodities and so on. But it's real exciting. It's we had a report that there were 7 TV stations there for the groundbreaking. There was 3 papers and the local radio station, and it generated about 30,000 reports nationwide about Clint Boyer and his activities and charity, and naming Lyon County and Emporia as being the spot to put this. So it really was a real media generator that the groundbreaking was. But I think that's just going to be minor compared to what the Boyer building and other improvements that are going to be coming to the fairgrounds. But also beyond, I call it beyond the Boyer building, it's a committee, the Fairgrounds Committee meeting. It's a very active committee, and they've been really working and they developed this plan of improvement, which deals first with the Boyer site, community building, and then secondly with infrastructure. If you've ever driven around the fairgrounds, the lights, electrical, the grandstands, the Anderson building, they all need improvements. And then beyond that, later there is a pavilion possibility for 4-H youth that can kind of replace all the little buildings and exhibit places out there. That's going to be part of it coming up. So it's a real active group, and you're going to be hearing some things from them along with the Fair Board here later on, later probably during the summer and so on. We're looking at the management of the fairgrounds. We're defining the role of the Fair Board, the role of the county, especially with the expanded use of the fairgrounds by this community building, and how we're going to manage that and take care of everything out there, define who's going to do what and who's responsible for what.